MacVoices 2024 Holiday Gift Guide number 4, Part 2. This is MacVoices. This edition of MacVoices is supported by Notion AI, the one tool that does it all. Try Notion AI for free at notion.com/MacVoices. Okay, that takes us to round 3. Patrice?
I think I'm gonna do another one maybe for Pete. Since he's building a home theater, he might need one of these. So this is a Fractal Design Note, or this is the Fractal Design Note 804 computer case. So I recently, and Chuck knows that, switched away from a Mac Mini that I'd been misusing as a Linux server. It was a M2 Mac Mini, actually quite recent, and I was completely misusing it. And I just realized it wasn't working, so I switched over to a custom-built home server for my home lab. And I needed a case that could hold hard drives. Ideally, a lot of them. Well, I got a little bit more than I bargained for because I clearly didn't check the descriptions. This case can hold 10 old school 3.5-inch drives. It can hold additionally, I think, 2.5-inch SSDs. And it has also more than enough space for a beefy logic board, for beefy, if you need that, beefy power supply and all of that. Of course, I didn't buy that because it's a home lab server. It didn't need a lot of power. But I'm super happy with it. It is a big black cube. So it's a little bit bigger than I was hoping for. But I have the space. It wasn't a big deal. And it's not super expensive. So it's very well made. Everything is easily accessible. You can literally take away basically the top and both sides, and you can easily access anything you want. It's super sturdy. It's quite heavy. I think it was I want to say 6 or 7 kilos in total. What is that? About 14 pounds ish, something like that. Probably a little bit more even.
Okay.
I'm bad at math
2.2
tonight.
pounds per kilo.
Yeah, so something like that. So it would be even 16, 17 pounds. Quite heavy. But yeah, that helps. It has 3 very big fans in there, case fans that come with it. So you don't need a lot of cooling inside. Actually, I don't even hear it at all. Everything is so silent because it doesn't have to run really for a lot. So yeah, it's a really good case. And Fractal Design, they have others. So this is the Note 804. They have a lot of others that are really good. Reviews are great for those, so highly recommend that. They have smaller ones. You don't have to buy the big one. I did.
Nice. Well, always need hard drives for your media. So.
Exactly. That was the point. So Pete, for your home theater build.
Nice.
Happy to spend your money, Pete.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Chuck knows it. I'm trying to get him to buy an Apple Vision Pro. So one of these days,
there you go.
I'll get into it.
Oh man! All right, so Patrice is trying to spend Pete's money. Pete, are you going to try to spend Patrice's money? And
possibly,
you're both trying to spend my money. I know that.
Right?
Of course.
This is an expensive show. When you tune in to the gift guide, it's going to happen.
Yes.
So I am getting this. Okay, I hate to say this. I hope someone doesn't listen to your show ahead of time. My son, specifically, because I'm getting this for him for Christmas, probably only because I want to wear it myself. And it's called the Alpha Heat Vest. And it's basically like a vest, but with an electric blanket in it. So it's got coils in the collar and coils in the front and back. And it comes with a little 10,000 milliamp rechargeable battery pack. You can buy a second one or use any 10,000 milliamp battery pack, which it says lasts up to about 8 hours. It's got 3 different heat settings. One's in the 70s, one's in the 90s, and the warmest one is about 113 degrees Fahrenheit. and just a little power button right on the left breast pocket area. Punch that, it comes on and says within 3 seconds you should start feeling the heat. Should last up to about 8 hours, and they go in sizes from extra small to double XL. And yeah, 5-volt power bank up to 10,000. Purchase a 10,000 milliamp hour power bank with that runs at 5 volts. And yeah, don't let the cold in this winter. So. Looking for the price right now. I lost it. I just found this earlier today, and I went, "Oh, that's it. I'm in." So it was in the $69 range when I first saw it. I think, yeah,
that's not bad.
No, it wasn't bad at all. I mean, gosh, you pay more than that for a sweatshirt at a concert. So
yeah, true. Yeah, I think you might have just spent my money.
I need to research
those.
So it's offer.buyalphaheatvest.com. They say that they are normally, let's see, one is normally $120, $119.98, and it's on sale for $59.99 right now for a Black Friday, up to 60% off.
I'm not sure I've seen this one. I've seen those, and every time I see somebody wearing one, it's like, that's a really good idea. And then I forget about it and never follow up. So this is a great reminder for me to follow up, because that would be really, really nice to have. It always surprises me, how warm you can keep yourself if you just have a vest of any kind. And this would be even
keep
better.
Your trunk warm.
Yeah. Yeah. So nice pick. Nice pick, Pete.
Thank you. Yeah.
So okay, I'm going to go with something that I want everybody out here to go and buy for your own good, and then buy some for your friends. And buy
some for Chuck.
I'm already equipped.
Oh, okay.
These are the ones that I've used. So there are a lot of them out there, but I use the Amfilm Auto Alignment One Touch Screen Protector for my iPhones. Again, there are a lot of them out there, but I can tell you these are simple. They're almost completely idiot proof. I mean, you really have to be not paying attention to not be able to get these on correctly. And I have, just this last year, I had a situation where I have no idea how my phone screen cracked, but it cracked. And much to my, and it's like, okay, well, here we go. And then I peeled the screen protector off, and it was only the screen protector that was cracked. So I just slapped a new one on, and they're like $10 for 2 of them. So they're super cheap insurance. And I used to worry. I mean, I still do a little bit, I will confess, because of the camera lenses. But I usually just keep my phone in my left pocket and nothing else goes in there. But once in a while, something will happen that I drop it in my right pocket, or some keys end up in the left pocket. And, I used to really worry about it. Screen protectors, they do not affect the touch interface. Once you put them on, I defy you to remember they're there until you see that little spider web. And then you think, okay, is it really a spider web on the phone, or is it the screen protector? I have never had a screen crack when I had a screen protector on, and I've used the Amfilms for years now. Frankly, usually because they're some of the first ones out, but also they've just lived up to their claims of being brain dead simple to put on and super protective. So I'm not about to go out and pound on my phone with a hammer to see if it breaks or see if I can shatter these. So, but it just, even if it helps just a little bit, it's well worth the money.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. How do they go on? I forget which brand it was that I tried for years, but I always managed to get that speck of dust right in the middle of the screen.
Pete, they come with a tray. And so you clean the screen, you dust it first, then you use the wet wipe with it, then you dry that off, and then you have stickers. stickers that you can go around if you get that one speck of dust, and then it basically you peel the adhesive off of the glass screen protector. You put the bottom in first, and then just ease it down, and it just almost all but seals itself. And then you have a little squeegee-like tool to make sure that you get any extra air bubbles out.
Okay.
So it really is. I mean, the old days of the wet ones going on and trying to hold it and place it just right. The frame
squeegee
makes
it out.
Yep. Yeah. The frame makes all the difference. I know some others have now adopted that, but
I can do it. So
you go with the one that you use and know and have been successful with, and that's been Amfilm for me. So
yeah, very cool. Can't live without that, especially if you're clumsy like me. You need a protector.
Patrice, you know what? Even if you feel like you're not clumsy, because I still have no idea what I would have done to crack that phone. It's not like I remember running into anything, and I'm usually pretty careful with my phone. So when I was really shocked and quite dismayed to find that I had the spider web crack in it, and I'm just glad it was only in the screen protector.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not just crack. Sometimes it's just like a little scratch. I mean, like for women, like we might throw it in like our handbag and there's the keys and whatever, and it's just a little scratch. And I mean, yes, the phones these days are harder to scratch, but not impossible, especially over time. Like if you're carrying it around all year, over time, it might just wear down a little bit. And the screen protector, I mean, it costs basically nothing. It's easily applied. And if there is a scratch or multiple over time, it just doesn't look right anymore. You take it off. Most of them these days even come in 2 packs out like already. Put the second one in, done, and then you got another year out of that.
And don't forget the fact that depending on how you use your phones, you're going to trade it in, and you want to get the best trade-in value. And there's nothing worse than having just any kind of chip or scratch on the screen. And if you hand it over, hand it down to somebody or across or whatever you do, it's still nice to be able to hand them a pristine phone. And, or if it's not pristine, if there has been a crack, okay, so buy another one of these or use the second one, put it on, and they'll think you're giving them a borderline new phone.
Yeah, I mean, I did that with my 15. I send it to my mom, and I had a second screen protector still that I hadn't used, and the old one looked fine, so I left it on there. But I just sent it with them. I'm like, if anything happens, switch it out.
Yeah. Peter, you one of those people that just says no, I don't need a screen protector, or do you use one?
My last 2 phones, I haven't been, but when I went to sell my last phone rather than trade it in, he tried to talk me down. Oh, there's a tiny, tiny nick, which I hadn't even seen. I'm like looking right at it, but he found it. You take $50 less. I'm going, wow, $50. When a screen protector would have saved me that, yeah. So I haven't put it on yet. My phone is really relatively new, so it will have one soon, and I suspect one of these. So
yeah. I mean, this is a stocking stuffer. You can afford it'll take you maybe 5 minutes to put it on. And of course, like anything else, once you start doing it, you get a little faster each time you do it. So, your holiday afternoon could easily be spent equipping everybody with screen protectors. That's probably not the best way that you want to spend your holiday afternoon, but they will thank you for it.
Well, it's a race, so.
True. This edition of MacVoices is supported by Notion AI, the one tool that does it all. Try Notion for free at notion.com/MacVoices. The new Notion AI is a single AI tool that does it all. Search across Notion and other apps, generate docs in your own style, analyze PDFs and images, and chat with you about anything. So as the holidays close in, with all those year-end deadlines, Notion AI is where you can turn to combine your notes, docs, and projects into one space that's simple and beautifully designed. Need more help? Notion has you covered with access to multiple knowledge sources like GPT-4 and Claude. so that you have your own compact, powerful team sitting right there in front of you, ready to answer your most challenging questions. Are some of your team members using other services like Slack, Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides? No problem. Notion can search across all of those, and soon across GitHub and Jira. And don't worry about privacy. Notion has contractual restrictions in place to keep anyone from using your data to train their AI models. There's lots more to know, but for now, you can try Notion for free when you go to notion.com/MacVoices. That's all lowercase letters, notion.com/MacVoices, to try the powerful, easy-to-use Notion AI today. And when you use my link, you're supporting MacVoices. Notion.com/MacVoices. Thanks to Notion for their support of MacVoices. Okay, so this is round 4. This is the last one. So have you saved the best for last? Have you saved the most expensive for last? The cheapest for last? Everybody seems to have a different approach to round 4. Patrice, what's yours?
Well, my approach is none of the above because I picked the most flexible for last. So mine is a audiobook service. So we talked I'm tying things together. We talked about an audiobook in the beginning and we're talking about audiobooks in the end. So I've been trying to get away from Amazon a little bit, and especially Audible. I have a huge library of audiobooks, like 150 to 100 on Audible. But I know some authors and I know some people in the background, and they're not super happy with being pressured into Audible and into Amazon. And some others are fine with it. So I think it's just individual. For me, I wanted an independent service, and I think it was Brett Terpstra or someone who recommended this to me. The service is called Libro, Libro.fm. And the cool thing about it is that you can basically pick a local participating, but there's a large list of bookstores, online and offline stores, and they get a cut. So you're not, I did that even here in Austria. There's in Salzburg, there's the English bookstore, I think it's called. And I support them. So whenever I buy anything, they work just like Audible. They work just like any other audiobook service. You have a subscription for credits. You can buy some stuff. You can also just buy one off for a reduced price. The difference is the local bookstore gets a cut. Of course, Libro gets a little cut, and the author and all of the others also get their money. So it's not the big Amazon that probably doesn't need your money that gets it. It really goes to smaller independent people, and I really like that. And it's the same. There's an iOS app, there's a web app, there is it literally makes almost no difference which one you're using. The only thing is, there's not every book is available, and that is not Libro's fault. That is literally because Audible has exclusive contracts. So some books are simply not available anywhere else because Audible pressured people or paid people. I don't know how they did it, but some people get Audible exclusive. You see that little badge on their audiobooks. So unfortunately, some of my favorite books not available anywhere else. I would really like to have that, but anything else I buy only on Libro. Support my local bookstore and do it this way. Quality is the same. It's literally the same book. It's no difference.
Oh, that's awesome.
I never even heard of that one. Yeah, I'm with you, Pete.
Really? I think I talked about that a couple of times or even.
Maybe
it's a really good store. Yeah. You just tuned me out. I know. All good. I know. I do that to myself. So.
Well, unfortunately, there's so many great things out there that after a while you sort of lose track. You can't subscribe to them all, no matter how hard we try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
it's just a good service. And the good thing, about the holidays is, you can gift people credits. So you can just give them either credits or money and simply say, if you don't know what to give someone, they have Libro already or they don't, but they would they would benefit from it. Just give them credits. They can buy whatever book they want.
Nice idea. Good.
There you go.
Good. Okay, Pete.
So
last one already.
Two, and I'm having such a hard time to choose. I think the first one is, I would say, the It's the Beryl X. It's available on GL. That's Golf Lima -inet.com. It's the Beryl, BARYL MT3000 pocket router. It has a 2.5 gigabit port, a 1 gigabit port, but more importantly, it will be a Wi-Fi repeater, say in your hotel room or on your airplane. So if you're on an airplane with your whole family, rather than having to buy $4 $15 for the flight Wi-Fi, you buy one, and then your family, you use a little power pack to power the router, and your whole family gets to join your Wi-Fi network and use one instead of four. If you're limited in the number of devices you can connect in a given hotel room, again, the hotel sees it as one device connecting. The cool thing is it comes with pre-built-in support for all the major VPN networks, which then allows you to appear in whichever country you want to appear in. Or, for instance, I use mine with Tailscale. I appear to come from my own home, so that when I'm overseas, I can watch American football by plugging my Roku stick into the TV and connecting to my own home network, and there I am. Instead of getting you can't watch this content in this country. It's like, wait a minute, I pay for this content. I'm just not sure. So the Beryl MT3000, it's got Wi-Fi 6 on it. Like it's a little bigger than a pack of cards. And it comes automatically with the European, the British, and the American adapters for the power. So I had used it for a while. Somehow I screwed up the VPN with a firmware update. It all came back to me, and I love traveling with this thing. So if you're traveling and you need Wi-Fi, you've got one access point, and it does a nice job.
So you don't have any trouble connecting it like to the hotel Wi-Fi's, because I'm notorious for having issues with them being non-responsive and then making me re-sign in, and especially the ones that make you sign back in every day or every other day.
Yeah.
Right. So early on, that was an issue with this. There's actually a page when there's a list of tabs down the left-hand side. The very top one is Internet. And you set a little switch on there. It says, hey, go get the login page for what I'm trying to use. And I suspect it's doing something like trying to go to a non-secure socket layer site to force it to give you that login portal. So it gets the web page hijacking that it needs, and which you want. Normally you don't want that. This is when you do want it in order to get that login page for your service. So that used to be an issue, but they fixed that.
Okay, so I'm very interested in this. So just to be clear, so using one of these, I will still get and I'm not going to say any hotel brands because that implies that I'm having trouble with them. On the other hand, truth is an absolute defense. I think
they're all the
rhyme
same,
with Lariat.
But I will still get that sign-in page where I authenticate with my name and my room number or whatever.
Yeah. But only once, right? Because you don't have to do it on every device then.
Right.
So yes, you just log in with the router when you first get in there. You go. It's actually 192.168.8.1. That's its GUI interface, and you log in with that. And like I say, it forces to the hotel's login page, and you're able to grab it. And it was stable for me on my last 2 trips. I found it to be excellent. In holding that. There was something. Oh, and the other thing I do is I name that Wi-Fi network that I create the exact same name as my home network with the exact same password, so that my stuff just connects to it. I don't have to go in and go, oh, okay, I'm on the road now, so I need to change my phone Wi-Fi to this, and my laptop. It all just thinks it's home.
So that's a nice little feature.
I like that.
Yeah. That's a real nice little feature. The video just started to play because I pulled up the page. Okay.
Yeah. And they have a really nice sale right now, 50% off.
Yes. Yeah. I think in the MT3000, I want to say it's in like the $73 range. I paid $89 for mine on sale on Amazon, but if you go to GL.iNet.com, then we'll I think it was 73 is what I was looking at a minute ago.
Yeah, it's 62 euros right now for me, so that's nothing.
Yeah.
Like I think I'll buy one of these. I'm traveling a lot and I'm staying a lot in hotels, and I mean the Wi-Fi, it's not a major issue, but the annoying part is really that you have to do it with every device, and you know we're always traveling with like a million devices, and every single one you have to log in again and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice pick, Pete. Real nice pick.
Very cool.
Thank you. Will you indulge me on a quick second one?
Sure. Go for it.
Okay. So I had the good fortune earlier this year to meet a lady who was born in East Germany and 6 years ago had never spoken a word of English in her life, except for words that are the same. Grew up speaking Russian and German, and a friend gave her an airplane ride for her birthday, and she decided that that's now what she was going to do. She sold all her show horses, bought an airplane, learned to fly, and then realized, well, I have to learn to speak English to fly out of the country. It's the international language, so she learned to speak English. Yeah. And then she flew her single-engine Grumman Cheetah across the Atlantic Ocean and back in 40 days and wrote a book about it called Halfway Around the World in 40 Days. My daring solo flight in a small propeller plane over the Atlantic, the pack ice, and the desert. And we actually had her on our show at one point, but fascinating lady to say the least, and the terrifying things she's done in that airplane, including at one point she was down at 200 feet over the Atlantic Ocean to avoid icing up. She doesn't have her instrument rating; it's all VFR. And she goes, "Yeah, but I saw whales."
Well, she's right.
So, yeah, and now she's done it twice. She's done another trip. Yeah, she's done another trip last summer since writing the book. So she's been across the ocean 4 times in a Grumman Cheetah now. Wow. Something I wouldn't do myself, but fascinating, fun book, really well written. It's available, I believe, in both German and English, but it's on Amazon.com. Halfway Around the World in 40 days.
Wow. So, I will look her up because I'm actually thinking about getting a license myself, and I'm like, hey, it might be interesting. And there's not a lot of women in that.
No, there's not. So. And her name is Catherine Kaiser, Kaiser. Yeah. So she lives in the just south of the Cologne, Germany area. So.
Oh, I've lived there as well.
You can go visit, Patrice.
Yeah, I should. I'm actually in the area every now and then. I should go visit.
Yeah,
thank you. That's a really cool recommendation.
Just tell her Pilot Pete sent you, and she'll say,
"There you go."
I will. Sure.
Actually, she stayed with us this summer when she came through. The day we moved in was the day she landed in Portsmouth, and my wife's going, "Are you kidding me? A house gift today?" I'm like, "Sorry, we planned this back in February. We didn't know it was moving day then."
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go really big for my third pick because, Patrice, you were talking about something for Pete for movie storage. Well, I'm going to give him some serious movie storage. I'm going to recommend the Thunder Bay 8 RAID, which is a 8-bay RAID from OWC. I have one of these. I love it. I used to love my Drobos. My Drobos went away, and this was one of the things that I replaced them with. And I have really not looked back, just because it has most of the best features of the Drobo. This is my fault. I'm not completely comfortable doing the hot swapping. So, I like to shut it down when I swap anything out. But that said, it's running soft RAID, so you can stripe it any way you want, whatever makes sense to you. I like the double redundancy part so that I don't have to worry about a drive going bad, that I'm not going to lose any data. And that to me is the reason you buy these things. And if you need a lot of storage, and I have just like everybody else, I have a fairly decent movie collection, but also I've gathered up an awful lot of video doing MacVoices and want someplace secure to keep it. And so this is this is where it goes. It all drops right into here. It's not inexpensive right now. I believe I'm showing it on Amazon as $8.99 bare, but you can then populate it with as much storage as you want, and storage keeps getting cheaper. And so once you populate it once, if you need more storage, you just upgrade. It's just that simple. So this is for somebody that really has a serious storage need, but I think Pete probably has a pretty serious storage need because he wants to be able to tail scale in and see his movie collection from home.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So
it's the only way to fly.
Yeah,
I don't do it when I'm flying, folks.
So feel free, Pete, to indulge yourself. I'm sure your wife won't mind.
I think we're at about $2,000 later on my wallet now, just from these picks alone.
Yeah, I think so.
So what's your point, Pete?
Right?
The point is we're halfway to an Apple Vision Pro for Chuck because he has to keep up with us.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I haven't got one yet. Adam got one. He's the only one on our show that got one, but I want one. It sounds amazing. I haven't even taken the tour. I need to walk over to the Apple store and take a tour. I'm just afraid that if I bring my checkbook, yes, I'm coming home with one.
No, I'll tell that, like everybody, I'll tell that. I'm like, hey, like if you're in danger of buying one once you like do the demo, then don't go. Like if you're not willing to do that afterwards, like just don't go because, like, no. You will want one so bad. Yes,
I want one so bad. I have been resisting for a couple reasons that we've talked about a million times. I need to find that killer use case, and the ultra wide screen may have become that. Because Eric Bolden keeps telling me how I can stretch out my Final Cut Pro timeline, across my entire field of vision, and then just look at any little piece, and it's like,
and beyond.
So nice.
Yeah. For me, it's in space and FaceTime. The spatial FaceTime is just insane.
That's awesome. My favorite story is when Adam said he was wearing his, watching a movie, paused the movie, went to the kitchen to get something to drink, walked back in and walked around the virtual screen.
Oh, I do that all the time. I duck and like all that. Yeah, all the time.
It's like, kind of forget it's not there. It looks that real. It's like, okay.
New world.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That will arrive here sometime. I'm just not sure when.
We will wear you down.
This has been fun. Every time we put these panels together, the first thing I know, and I don't mind saying this here, but Pete and Patrice did not know each other before this session. And I love that I can connect people and,
me too.
Make the tech area community just a little bit tighter. But I'm always amazed at just the diversity of picks that come out, not just price, but just interests and applicability. And I can't thank you enough for spending a little time with us and sharing some of those, because I think it makes us all better.
Well, it's been a thrill.
It's a lot of fun.
So we mentioned this at the front part of the show, but I'll do it again. But Patrice, where can folks find you, and which podcasts do you do?
So I do a lot of them. I'm twice a week on the British Tech Network, once with you, Chuck, and on the Mac Show, and once with some other misfits and miscreants. No, really awesome people where we talk about like non-Apple tech. So one is the Apple show, one is the non-Apple tech show. That's the big show. You can find everything I'm doing, all the social media links, the podcast, the projects, literally everything on my website, thepatrice.com. It redirects because nobody can spell my last name. And we mentioned Retro Rewatch, and I like to show my Mac because I have an awesome Mac 4 podcast, and I just love that thing. Retro Rewatch. We rewatch really cool retro TV shows. In this case, we're right now rewatching Stargate SG-1. We just published 2 extra episodes. We did like a cross-post with British Tech Network, where we talked about, I think with you, Chuck, we talked about Battlestar Galactica, all of them, not just the modern version. And we also had one about Mythbusters with Jeff Gamet, because that was also super interesting to talk about, well, Jeff's brother, right? Because he just looks like his brother. And yeah, so now we're back into season 1 of Stargate SG-1, and we're having a great time. So it's just a really, really cool thing to do, rewatching a show that I really love and Jeff has never seen before.
Great. Thank you, Patrice. Thank you. Pilot Pete Harmon, thank you very much for being here. This is your second year on the Gift Guide. I hope there are many more ahead of us. Where can folks find you?
So you can hear me every week on the Mac Geek Gab with Dave Hamilton and Adam Christensen, formerly of the MacCast. So we're having fun doing that every week. My other show, as you mentioned, is So There I Was. I'm on X at Pilot Pete or at there_I_was. And we come out every Thursday with that show. One of our shows was the author of that book that I mentioned earlier, Catherine Kaiser. That one was fun. We've had some amazing ones. We had a gent who was blinded by shrapnel in a hot landing zone in 1967 in Vietnam and flew the helicopter blind to rescue 9 Marines that night. This week's show coming up is with a woman who got air medal. I think it was an air medal. I could be wrong. Distinguished Flying Cross, maybe, for flying her wounded A-10 out of Baghdad on her first combat mission back in 2003. KC, Kim Campbell. KC is for Killer Chick, though, not for Kim Campbell. So we've been so fortunate to have so many amazing aviators from 2 World War II era aviators, several Vietnam era aviators, several Gulf War and Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom aviators, and people who have done amazing things in and around airplanes, not just the aviators. We've had drill instructors and air traffic controllers and all that. So we hope you find that interesting. We're having a ball doing it. Coming out every Thursday right now. We may back off to every other Thursday just because of work schedules. But so that's it. At Pilot Pete, at there_I_was, or cool. Repeat at sothereiwas.us.
and Pete, I have to say, I've subscribed to your show. I look at it and I think, okay, maybe that's interesting, and I immediately get sucked in every time. I mean, it's one of those shows that's like, I'm not sure I can relate to this, or I'm not sure this one really matters. Maybe I'll skip and listen to next week's. And every single time I get pulled in. I mean, there's just some amazing stories. You know, some amazing stories. So if you think this show is not for you, you're wrong. Go try it. just that simple. Just go try it. Mm-hmm. Thank you for being here, Pete. Really, really appreciate it.
Chuck. Yeah, nice to meet you, Patrice.
Great to meet you too.
There we go. Another connection made. Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. One more time, so you don't forget, all the links to all our picks will be in the show notes of this show. All the picks that are done for all of our holiday gift guides are in the master list on the MacVoices website in the blog section, and also in the 2024 MacVoices Holiday Gift Guide on Flipboard. So you can find them anywhere, but by all means, go and check them all out, because some great picks from some great people and a lot of fun. As always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.